Sean left out that door and I ain't see Sean no more. I didn't see my brother no more after he left out that door. And when Saturday came, we was in the car getting ready to go to my sister. I was giving my sister a birthday dinner for her birthday. She was turning 53. And when Saturday came, we got a call from my cousin and she was like, you gotta get to grandma's house. And I was like, what's wrong with grandma? Because at that same time, my grandma was in the hospital because her heart was bad. And my grandma 80-some years old. So I was like, okay, grandma. I understand my grandma kept saying she was tired. I wanted to go visit her too. And she refused to get the heart surgery. So I was like, okay, you know, she older, she tired. I'm in the nursing field. I could kind of deal with that a little better. But she was like, no, it's not grandma, it's your brother. I was like, what's wrong with my brother? And she said, Toya, he dead. I just screamed and I 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 screamed. And I screamed because I just seen him that Thursday. He just came and talked to me. And I was just saying, like, God, why did I do more as a sister? And the guilt just filled me up so bad. And I was like, why didn't I do more as a sister to help my brother? I was no different than him. I was hurting too, but why I didn't do more to help him? Because he loved this world, feeling not loved by his family, not feeling loved by nobody. He loved this world alone. So when I went to my grandma's house, my brother was in that bed. He died in my grandma's bed. He died. His eyes was wide open. And he was just stretched out with his arms wide open. I'll never forget the image. With the dope in his hand. I'm sorry, it was in his pocket. They found it in his pocket. But he must have had just did it and he never came back. And I just held my brother and I just held his cold body and I cried so bad. And I asked God to forgive me for not being a better sister, for not being there for him, for not helping him when he really needed me. And I just cried, and I just cried, and I just cried. And from that point forward, the guilt just ate me alive. Because I was no better than him. And he was crying out for help, and it was more that I wish I would have done more. But I didn't. And the guilt ate me so bad that I tried, like those next couple of days, I tried to get myself together. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't sleep because I said, my brother can't eat. Why should I eat? And that's how my thought process was. Because yet again, another brother. Yet again, some more pain. Yet again, God, why you keep taking everybody from me and saving me, though? And I just kept asking God, why are you taking them but you keeping me? Why are you keeping me? I just felt I didn't deserve to be here either. So, my son, this particular night, my baby boy had went with me when I went to my grandma's house. And he seen my brother. I didn't want him to see, but he was just adamant while he was going, and I was not in no place to go back and forth with him. So I just said, come on, son. He go with me. He come with me. And from after that day, he just couldn't sleep by himself, so he was in the bed with me. In my bed, in my room. And while he was sleeping, the suicidal thoughts came back, and I was like, you know what? I'm done with this too. I can't deal with this no more. And I took a knife and I had typed up my letter on my computer, on my laptop. I letter to my children. I still got it to this day. And I had the knife. I hid the knives under my bed because I had already had it planned what I was going to do. Under my pillow. And as my son was sleeping, I pulled the knife because I was going to kill myself right in that bed beside my son. And when my son moved, he just moved just to turn to the other side, I just remember just busting out crying because I couldn't allow my son to find me like this. And I was like, what my kids gonna think? Who gonna help my kids? Who gonna be there for my kids? Who gonna love my kids like me? And I said, God, I need help. I gotta get help, God, because if I don't get help, my mama gonna lose her daughter too. So I said, God, I gotta get help. I got to get help. And I told my sister, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I gotta go. Because if I don't go, you're gonna lose me too. And I told my older sister, Leisha, I said, Leisha, I'm gonna go to work. And when I get off work, I have to go check myself in somewhere. Because if not, I won't be here no more. And she just cried with me. And I went to work, and the ladies at the job who I was just telling y'all about on another video, who was still at the same job, who told me I inspired them by sharing, different testimonies and different things, and coming live and sharing things with y'all. They was like, they just was so understanding. And I cried to them. I didn't even know them like that. But I cried to them, and they could see I was hurting. And they was like, you go ahead and do what you got to do, but your job is still here. And that's how I knew that was just God. Because how many people going to hold your job for you? They don't even know you. Just because you're going through stuff. Everybody go through something. But I just broke down, and I couldn't help it. I couldn't stop the tears. I couldn't get my stuff together. The only thing that I said was going to help me is if I go check my stuff into, I needed help. So I go check myself into Tucker's at Chippenham Hospital, and I spent the week there. And during that whole week, I refused to eat. Because I said, my brother can't eat, I'm not eating. And I just was so consumed with guilt and the suicidal thoughts that I didn't want my thoughts to consume me like they consumed my brothers, and I take myself out. So I went to Tucker's. And while I was in Tucker's, I went eat. I had a psychiatrist. I had a case manager. I had groups with other people like myself who is hurting from different things and been through things in life. Some people was on drugs, and I just wanted to just hug them because I just know that my brother left here hurting. And I really wanted him to know that I loved him so much. And I never got the opportunity to show him how much I loved him, because either he wasn't around, or either when he was around, he was causing chaos, so I didn't want him around. And I just remember spending all my days in Tucker's just crying to God. Like, God, help me, please, help me. And I would just talk to God all day long, pace the floors and talk to God, and I would pray. And that week that I spent in there, I wrote letters to my kids. I wrote a 2-3-page letter to Sean. I was supposed to read it at his funeral, but I didn't have the strength to do it. And I just remember looking at my mom like she lost 2 sons. My God. And at my brother's funeral, I just held on to my mama because my brother got buried, was it 4 days before my birthday, or 4 days or something before or after my birthday? So my birthday is February 15th. I didn't do anything for my birthday. I didn't want to, but they ended up giving me a surprise birthday party. God bless them. But after I came out of Tucker's, y'all, I said, God, it's me and you from this point forward. So I've been walking straight with God since then. And I just want to tell y'all that He's amazing. He can deliver you. He can make you whole. He can wash you. He can cleanse you. Because He only want to use you for His glory. But He loves you so much. He loves you so much. You can never understand how much God loves you. You will never understand how much He loves you. And I know there's a lot of people in the world that's hurting and that's been through things similar to me or even worse, because somebody's always worse off than you. But just know that God got a purpose and a plan for each of His children. And He would never leave you nor forsake you. And whatever you've been through, God, y'all, your pain will not go in vain, will not be wasted. I promise. So I was in bed tossing and turning, and I just felt it on my spirit to just get up right now and go make this video. And I'm just being so open and transparent with y'all, because God has really changed me. He has saved me. I no longer have to rely on a pill, on weed or drink to cope with life, to get up, to go to sleep at night. I only rely on God and the Word of God and what He's saying. I'm led by God. I'm led by the Spirit. And it's a good place to be. It's the only way. It's the only place where your joy and your happiness comes from. It's the only way you will be fulfilled is by being into God, because nothing of this world can fulfill you. And I don't know who needed to hear this. I don't know who needed to hear this, but I just pray that whatever you're going through, whatever you're dealing with, that you just turn to God, please. And just allow Him to change you, allow Him to clean you up. Because that's what He want to do. He just wants you to rely on Him. He just wants you to trust Him. He just wants you to come to Him, to turn to Him. He got you. I promise He got you. And I know that you've been through hell like me, but it won't go in vain. It won't. Just trust God and just give it all to Him. Just surrender it all to Him, because He's waiting for you. And I just pray that whoever is hurting, that you just give it to God. Please give it to Him. Don't make no decisions out of your emotions, out of your feelings. Just go to God. Please surrender to God. Just please give it to Him. Because it wasn't easy. And He never said it was going to be easy. But once you do, it's going to be the best decision you could have ever made. I promise. I just pray that it touched whomever it needed to touch. Because God is good, y'all. And I'm a living, walking